Today's video is a follow-up to my previous video, why you're not successful. In this video, we're going to talk about 8 reasons why some people will never succeed. My goal with these videos is to inspire a better you today. With that being said, let's dive right into this video. I'll also be directly talking to you. Number 1, you don't understand the value of time. Richard Branson, founder of Virgin, famously said, "Any successful entrepreneur knows that time is more valuable than money itself." Unsuccessful people don't value their time. They are everywhere, anywhere, anytime because they lack the ability to dedicate their time towards their goals. And week after week, month after month, and even year after year, they make new promises which never come to fruition, simply because they couldn't be bothered to put in the time and effort required towards their goals and dreams. Time management skills, learning how to say no and knowing what commitments to undertake is a step towards great success in any area of our lives. If you don't want to waste your time, then leave out all distractions, delete social media, go cold turkey, not only on just drinking, but partying, late night Netflix sessions, gaming. Start creating a life of intention and conviction. That is the first step to getting closer to a better you, which will lead you to success in the near future. Number 2, you don't do things that are in alignment with your goals. The more important a goal is, the higher it will be in your hierarchy of values and the more discipline and order you will have associated with it. The less important a goal is, the lower it will be on your hierarchy of values, and the less discipline and more disorder you have associated with it. Unsuccessful people have mistaken busyness with productivity. A great quote I heard from Denzel Washington that goes, "Don't mistake movement with progress. Just because you are doing a lot more doesn't mean you are getting a lot more done. What's the point of being a part of everything, but nothing which you do is in alignment to your values and aspirations? You're wasting a significant amount of time and energy doing things you don't have no business doing. Start prioritizing the things that add value, joy, peace, love, and above all, passion. I honestly believe if you're working right now, regardless of what you're doing, if you aren't passionate, you aren't happy. You need to stop and make a conscious decision to be a better you. As soon as you ask that question, am I honestly passionate about what I'm doing right now? If the answer is no, you gotta go. I have a little story that very few people know. I'll share it with you guys. What feels like a lifetime ago, I applied for a bank job. There was about 25, maybe 30 people who also applied. I wasn't better than any of them. In fact, maybe I was the least qualified. At the time though, I had something that you need to start having more, and that was conviction. I'm talking about a firmly held belief that I knew I could get this position because at the time I wanted it. I got the job with another 5 or 6 people and I lasted about 3 weeks. Only the training. It wasn't a bad job, but I didn't have any passion. I didn't have any love. Waking up, I was questioning myself and what was I doing in this position? Because at the time I thought money was happiness. I really did. I thought money was happiness. I really did. That's the truth. I really thought money could buy happiness. And the job paid well. For a junior position, I felt you could say rich. Though that's when I realized after the first week, not even a month, I felt a level of depression because I knew deep down my intuition was speaking to me, telling me this isn't why you're here. This isn't for you. And at the time I remember speaking to a good friend of mine called Sam and asking him for advice, telling him how depressed I was, while sitting there eating my burrito near a shopping center. He was relaxing and having a drink by the beach and he told me, if photography and making content is what makes you happy, leave where you're at and pursue that. And I knew in my heart it's what I wanted. Though hearing it from Sam, someone I really looked up to, meant a lot to me. And about a week later, I did leave. And I did start my passion for photography and began pursuing it full time. Now, I'll touch up on that on a future video and give you an idea of that timeline, because it really is an interesting one. 3, you never step up to the plate. Stephen Covey, the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, said, "People seem to think that success in one area can compensate for failure in other areas. But can it really? True effectiveness requires balance. Stepping up to the plate essentially means to take responsibility for something that needs to be done." So let's take your job as example. You hate your boss, you hate your job, you hate being there. Though these aren't valid reasons for you to slack off and be mediocre. You're at least getting paid to be there, so do it right and do it well. Life has this universal law of giving you exactly what you put in. It's just maturity and wisdom to pursue excellence no matter the circumstances. And as I always say, if you don't like the circumstances you're in, change them. If you can't change them, then adapt. Though always be in pursuit of growth, because self-discipline is one of the most important requirements for achieving success, but too often there is a lack of self-discipline. The first thing to understand about self-discipline is you're not born with it. It's something you need to hone and develop over time. Following that up with laziness and the absence of inner strength prevent you also from being more self-disciplined. In this situation, you avoid doing things that require effort and persistence. People prefer comfortable laziness rather than actions that require effort. Laziness is comfortable since it is pleasant and effortless, while self-discipline requires effort. Again, the importance of having willpower, motivation, and ambition to do better is all within you. The question is, are you willing to do what is uncomfortable to reach the level of success you seek? Or do you prefer being comfortable and lazy watching Netflix while effortlessly scrolling through all pointless memes and posts on social media? Big questions that will lead to big answers. Number 4, you have self-imposed limitations. Those who say I can and those who say I can't are both usually right is a famous quote that I reflect on when I think about self-imposed limitations. The truth is we all have potential and power to be who we want to be. Those self-limiting beliefs keep us from reaching our highest potential. If you tell yourself you can't run a successful business, then of course you won't be able to. Putting limits on yourself and excusing the behavior is nothing short of playing it safe. You need to get rid of the mindset and belief that you only have a specific set of skills and talents. You need to get into the mindset that you're just as intelligent as those millionaires and billionaires, and your time is coming soon. What life requires of you is to make the most of yourself, for yourself, and then in turn, you can also make the most for others as well. Number 5, they are good at making excuses. Would you believe that there are people who will find reasons, or better yet, find excuses with logic as to why they can't and why they shouldn't? These people unfortunately lack imagination and always find ways to justify why something shouldn't be without ever really committing and giving it a proper try. The only real cure for this is mind over matter. Reignite that spark that started the ideas in the first place and really commit to making it happen. 6, you lack class. Judge a person not by how they look, rather how he treats the person who can do nothing for him. Unsuccessful people usually tend to have no social IQ. They always say things like, well, at least I'm being honest, or this is just how I am, deal with it. They don't know how to treat other people and tend to be arrogant for no apparent reasons most of the time. Now, nobody likes a big mouth, a show-off, a humble boaster, or people who don't know how to just say thank you when given a compliment. These traits are unbecoming and are not what true class acts are made of. Being nice and polite to people you like is easy. Being nice and polite to someone you cannot tolerate or who you are in constant disagreement with, that is character. Learning how to speak to people is a skill only few have truly mastered. It has been said the best way to test a man's character is by watching how he acts when standing in a very long queue and is met with bad service, how he handles Christmas lights, and his reaction when you ruin their expensive items. 7, procrastinators. The funny thing about this one is that they are usually self-proclaimed procrastinators. They see no shame in it. This goes back to them never understanding the value of time. They are okay with living a life that keeps up with yesterday. They live life as though they just have another one in the bank. Let's just see how round 1 goes, and if all else fails, we press next or rewind or pause. Understanding that you start dying the moment you are born and having the wisdom to realize this, that every day is a gift and you owe it to yourself to do everything you can in those 24 hours because nothing's ever promised. All we really have is this moment right now. So make the most of it. People who don't take action. The biggest reason you're unsuccessful and not where you want to be is due to the lack of taking action. Taking action is a skill of committing to a regime of whatever you're about to do and doing it to the fullest. Les Brown, the famous motivational communicator, said, "Do something today your future self will be thankful for." What is your future self going to thank you for? Is there anything at all? You need to start committing to yourself. You owe it to yourself. You need to start being a better you than yesterday. You need to start and take action today. Stop dreaming about what will be. Dreams in themselves are not bad, but get up, show up, and do something. Guys, that is the end of this video, and I hope you've been able to take something away. If you enjoy this kind of content and have made it this far, thank you. This really does mean the world to me. I'm working on a series of videos and more coming very soon. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay safe and be good.